Fellas, it is I, your exceptionally handsome host, GF26, back with another financial mistake. And this time, it's actually a mistake. This $600 monstrosity abomination is none other than the PT-76-57. I'm going to break my own rules here a little bit, and I'm going to tell you right now at the beginning of this video, this tank is not fun. In fact, I fucking hate this tank. I'm literally recording the audio of this video before I've even got like half the footage for it because I am so sick of playing this thing. And that might come as a surprise for many of you because pretty much every video on this thing seems to hog ride it like it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, but not me. No. No, sir. Now, I'm almost positive this is solely coming down to a skill issue on my end. Like, I ain't spoosting. I ain't the COD mine, man. In fact, I'm pretty much below average. And because of that, this tank is near goddamn unplayable. All right. I don't like it. You get that. You understand that. But let's talk about why I don't like it. So what is the PT-76-57? Well, the PT-76-57 is a Soviet light tank at an 8.3 battle rating. Now, the main thing that's really hyped up about this tank is the fact that it can shoot a shell from an autocannon with 147 millimeters of pen, which for an autocannon is actually really good. But you know what's not really good? The fucking mobility. This thing is meant to be a light tank, but it is too slow to be a light tank, fellas. Like, you're not supposed to use this tank to shoot people head on. I mean, you only have 147 millimeters of pen. Like I said, it's good for an autocannon, but when you use an autocannon, you're meant to be shooting people from the side. You're not supposed to be facing them head on. But this thing it doesn't have the mobility to get you to those spots where you're going to shoot people from the side. Unless you take like an extremely roundabout way and waste a ton of time, you're really not going to be flanking with this thing, which is a shame because if you can get behind them with it, it's an absolute monster. But you can't. For a light tank, it's simply just not fast enough. Like the top speed on it is 60 kilometers an hour, which is okay, but you're never going to reach 60 kilometers an hour in this thing. You got to turn too much. It's just not good, fellas. I don't know how else to say. The mobility is what drags this thing all the way down and makes it so unenjoyable for me. A typical match in this thing for me is spawn in, drive forward to the position, but drive slow enough to where you're just in the same, I guess, line of vehicles as the mediums and the heavy tanks. Like, I get to the position at the same time they do. So I'm ending up in a brawling position pretty much, because I'm so slow, and this thing cannot brawl. It cannot brawl at all. Now, as mentioned previously, this is probably a skill issue, but even when I try to not make it a skill issue, which is very difficult, and I purposely go out of my way to attempt to flank, by the time I reach any sort of good position, the fight's already over. I just don't get it, fellas. I simply don't get it. This thing is just not good at all. It's miserable to play. I'm not having fun getting the footage for this video. I'm just not. And I'm sure if you put any other content creator in this vehicle, they're going to clean house with it. But I'm not every other content creator, fellas. I'm GF26, and I am not good at this game. And this tank reinforces that statement every single time I play it. All right. The mobility's bad. Now, what about the gun? I already mentioned that the shell has a very good penetration for an autocannon. And the gun itself isn't that bad. It shoots like every second, which is pretty dope. I mean, it's a fucking autocannon, right? But like other autocannons, it suffers from the problem where once you run out of shells in your little autocannon mag, you're stuck reloading every individual shell, which sucks. But like I said, I often end up in brawling positions with this tank. So I usually don't last long enough to get to an empty mag, but by the grace of God, if someone doesn't look at me wrong and I do, well, I'm stuck fucking reloading forever. Also, just a quick mention, I should mention the shell is slow, so if you're trying to shoot targets at distance, which honestly in this thing isn't a bad idea, if you kind of play it like a sniper, I think you'll have much more success than I do. That's not really my play style, but you gotta lead the target quite a bit because this shell is not fast. As for the armor, fellas, well, it's a light tank. It literally has none. If you get shot, you're dead. Honestly, if you get shot by a machine gun, you're dead. Really, it has no armor. This thing just doesn't have a lot of things going for it. Simple as that. So, is this tank fun? No. For me, no, not at all. In fact, I really dislike it. For other players who might not be as bad as me, I reckon it might be okay, but there are other light tanks that fill this thing's job way better than it does, so I'm just going to say no. I'm just going to say no. Nope. And there isn't any sort of bias with this. Light tanks, for the most part, are my favorite tanks in the game. I mean, you're going to see on this channel soon the VT-12, which is tied with the LOSAD of all tanks, is my favorite tank in the game. So it's definitely not a bias against light tanks. This one just kind of fucking sucks. And I just fucking suck at it. Cast me at the stake, fellas, but as the layman, that is my opinion on the PT-76-57. That's what I think about it. I don't think anything good about it. That's all. Thank you for watching, and this is GF26 Going Dark.